Affirmations are statements that you can say to yourself or say in your head to help shift out of that negative thought loop that we sometimes can get stuck in and create a more positive possibility thinking mindset going forward. So these are usually present tense statements. They usually start with I am. And it's a way to kind of put yourself into that future version or that higher self version of you that you desire in the now. So an example of an affirmation I use a lot is I am enjoying the ride. And you can see this woman on her motorcycle and there's like wind blowing through her hair and she's enjoying it. She's having fun. And I say this to myself, I am enjoying the ride. And the reason I say that affirmation to myself is because oftentimes in my business, I'm very ambitious, type A kind of person. I can find myself tensing up and taking myself a little too seriously. And in the process, I end up not really having much fun in my journey of building my business. So I'll say that affirmation to myself, I am enjoying the ride as a way to show my subconscious mind a new way of feeling and thinking and being. And when we can shift out of those negative thought loops into that more positive outlook on life, we start to feel different. And when we feel different, we start to show up for our lives in a new way. And when we do that, we start to take action and the things that we desire manifest faster. So, speaking of manifestation, affirmations are often used in manifestation because the whole point of manifestation is to kind of call in the things that you desire by aligning your frequency to the version of self or into that way of being in the now. So you kind of think of what you want. So, for example, I have a business making affirmation cards. That's why I'm doing this video. So these are the gently rising affirmation cards. So an example of manifestation would be when I was wanting to create my first affirmation deck. And the way I manifested that to happen faster is I kind of got myself thinking in the positive of like, okay, who would I have to be in order to create this deck? And who I would have to be was someone that showed up consistently for her artwork. Because as you can see, these are all illustrated cards. So I needed to show up and make 52 illustrations, which would then get me the affirmation deck. And so a lot of the affirmations in here actually relate to that process. So I am detaching from the outcome. This is an affirmation I would say to myself a lot because sometimes when you're trying to create something or you have a goal in mind, you can kind of find yourself like future tripping and holding on so tight to the outcome that you kind of can get paralyzed or stuck in the future and not actually taking action on the things that are gonna move the needle. So an example of this would be when I was thinking about the affirmation deck being done and thinking about like, oh, all the marketing I was going to do to promote it. Meanwhile, the drawings weren't even finished. So this affirmation, I'm detaching from the outcome, reminded me to return to the present moment and get back to work actually finishing the drawings for the deck. So you can kind of make your own custom affirmations and think about like what are you struggling with, and then flip that on its head to have like a positive statement, opposition to the negative. So for the I'm detaching from the outcome, the negative version of that would be like, oh, I'm holding on too tight to the end result. So what would the positive be? Like, oh, I'm letting that go. I'm detaching from the end result. I'm detaching from the outcome. An example of this one, I am empathizing with my fear. You can see this woman kind of like cuddling with this little creature that says fear, and it says, I see you. So this one is a way to kind of soothe yourself. Affirmations can also be kind of self-soothing in a way to like calm the nervous system and give yourself that love and that care that you need so that you can then take that next step to think about like, okay, what do I even want? How do I even want to show up? What am I even after? Sometimes we need to do that first step. So affirmations can be so personal. It really depends what you're going through or what you want or what you're striving for. Some people use them because they're like ambitiously trying to like create something or achieve something. And some people use affirmations in a kind of like softer, more grounded way to just like acknowledge and be grateful for the things that they have in their life, or like I said, give themselves that like self-soothing and that calming in their life. So affirmations I view as a way to just shift your mindset to think in the positive and to have that possibility thinking mindset and get yourself out of that like negative loop that we can sometimes get, those negative self-talk loops. Affirmations are a way to pull yourself up and lift yourself up and in a way that you can do yourself. Like you don't necessarily need a therapist or any other avenue. It's a way that you can work on yourself. And it's such like a personal development tool, I guess. Like when you're doing self-improvement work or personal development, it's all about yourself. It's all about like how can you lift yourself up? What do you need? Really like looking inside and giving yourself that. So I love to do morning card pulls. That's how I use affirmations. So this is the Gently Rising deck by Epic Bones. So this is a deck I created that's centered towards manifestation, but it's very general. So some people use it for like relationships or career or health. It's kind of like a general deck. But I'll pull a card in the morning. So this one, for example, I am seeing just enough. I'll pull this card and I'll kind of say this to myself, like, okay, I'm seeing just enough. And I'll think about what I'm working on that day or that week and be like, okay, how does this apply to what I'm personally working on? And what's nice about the cards is there's a journal prompt on the back of each card. So it says, how can I shine a light on my next step and trust that it will lead to my destination? So this one is all about having trust. Like, okay, maybe I can't see the whole picture right now, but let me just trust that it's going to become clear. And how can I just look right in front of me, shine that light on the road right ahead of me, and focus on that? And then once I get that, I can move on to 10 feet ahead. So it's just a really nice way when you do these morning card pulls to kind of, you don't have to like think of the affirmation yourself. Sometimes it's like a lot of work to be like, oh, geez, what am I working on? It's nice to have a little bit of a prompt to go off of. So I am asking for what I want. And the back says, what message can I send so that I can receive? I'm consistently broadcasting high frequency energy. This one is just like carrying the vibes. Like, how can I be positive today? So there's 52 cards in this deck. They all have journal prompts on the back. And I love affirmations. I mean, sometimes I'll pull several cards a day and I'll just kind of journal about what's coming up for me. Sometimes I will pull one card and have that card on my desk for the week. Be like, okay, this is what I'm working on this week. Like, this card, I'm seeing something new. For example, I'll be like, ooh, what does that mean to me? The back says, how can I stay curious? So this one is about like, ooh, I'm kind of like in this dark forest and I'm seeing new things, like new ideas are coming to me. I'm open to them. And how can I stay curious about that? How can I like peek my head through the forest trees and really get curious about my life and what I'm doing? So I will put that card on my desk at work or sometimes I tape it to the mirror in my bathroom and be like, okay, this is the message from the universe for the week, and just really let that one um, simmer in. So I'd love to hear from you. Like, what do you think affirmations are for? How do you use them? And tell me about your ritual with affirmations. Do you use affirmation cards? I'd be curious to know that as well. So hopefully this was helpful.